Hi everyone, my name is Eva-Maria Ahrer. I'm talking to you today as part of the International Workshop for Astronomy about the International Astronomical Youth Camp and how we had to change it because of the pandemic and how we had to take it online and how this changed our history. Thank you to the organizers for letting me talk to you today, and thank you for watching. First of all, I want to start with talking about what is the International Astronomical Youth Camp. So it started in 1969, first camp hosted in West Germany, and while the last one was in 2019, also hosted in Germany. And we had a total number of camps of 53 in 15 countries so far. So here on the right, you can see, indicated by the stars, where the camp houses were that we used in the last 50 years. And you can see it's mainly Europe. We did have some outside Europe, and we hosted at least one every year, sometimes even twice. And we had a total number of more than 3,000 participants from 77 countries. So I've also included here a map of where participants come from. So how many participants we had depending on the country. Of course, mainly again, Germany is very popular, and since we're mainly around Europe, we also had a lot of European participants, but we do try to increase the number of nationalities that attend, as you can see in the bottom left here, where in red you can see that the nationalities are increasing and the participants stay fairly constant. There was only one slight peak in 1999 due to the solar eclipse, where we had a bigger event. So how does the IOSC usually work? So we have a 3 week during the summer where the 65 participants are separated into small working groups led by one of the 10 leaders. And so they usually do small astronomical projects with in a pair or the 3 of them together. And in a dark sky site. So on the top, at the bottom, you can see 2 examples of our camp houses, one of them in Spain, the left one, and on the right, the one in the UK. And so we are a German non-profit organization called International Workshop for Astronomy, and we are the parent organization organizing this. So in 2020, we had to change the IOSC. We couldn't do an in-person one. And so we called it the EIOSC. Also, here you can see the logo on the right with a small little hazard sign on the Earth. And the whole thing was running for 2.5 months, so from mid-June till the end of August. We had a total of 63 participants. And the communication was just mainly done through a Discord server. So we had announcements and people were exchanging through there. We had a variety of events to try to engage them, because our community is what drives us, what gives us the participants, why we can, we have reunions every year. So the community is really what holds the IOSC together. So we had 3 parts: engagement series, projects, and non-astronomical program, which I'm going to talk to you about now. So starting with the engagement series. So the engagement series, the idea was to have short astronomy themed workshops. So people who only have time for 1 weekend, or they can only do small things and they can't do longer than that. We try to make them do that, have small little workshops, astronomy related. So on the right here, you can see the first half of the summer, our plans. Our topics. So we had data visualization, Python programming, energy in space, also the life of science and how to get there, since we have a lot of high school students that are interested in this. And also a telescope simulator, how to build one. So I think also included a little GIF here, which on the left here, you can see Jupiter is taken from the Hubble Space Telescope, and you can simulate on how you be able to see it through your backyard telescope, how it would look like depending on seeing the focal length and the aperture. So that would be how it looks like then. The second part is the project. So this was the idea of having something similar to the IOSC, so it's 3 week-long projects, or even longer depending on time and interest. And some leaders were basically in the areas of research that I've listed there, or other historical astronomy, etc. They could do a small little project, do small little things, and have like regular drop-in sessions with the leaders to guide them. And in the end, they could make a poster and present it to other participants. And on the right, you see an example where one of the participants simulated warped protoplanetary disks. So that was one of the projects. And the third part was the non-astronomical part, because we usually have that at camp as well, how to engage without like the, astronomy being just to, socialize, especially important, I guess, during the pandemic. So we had quiz nights, movie nights, game nights, and we had team challenges. So everyone who joined was put into one of the teams, so we had 3 teams, like RGB, so red, green, and blue. And so they could just do challenges. For example, here I've included 2 pictures of a challenge where they had to do as basically the best thing they could do with an A4 piece of paper. Quite impressive. To be honest, I wouldn't be able to do that. And yeah, so now what did we learn from it? So we found that online meeting events are just not as well attended. Like it doesn't work as well, because you have the different time zones, they have the normal lives. It's also a really long period, like June to August. Just it's hard to like keep track of which events happen when, and you need to like actually keep a constant number of participants up. It was really hard. So we sometimes only like a few people turning up. We had some which are just like where people are more interested, where we suddenly had like 30-40 people turn up. So it was a very like difficult to also like say which one are gonna be big or which one are not gonna be that big. And it was really difficult for us to see. And maybe we should limit these set of events to have just small ones, which are then high impact one, which we had a couple of times as well. And also like we thought that more people would join or like keep in touch. Like people would keep in touch, but they like it's hard to, I guess, to engage online. Some people don't enjoy it as much, and it was also a hard time in terms of pandemic, and some people had to do studying and remote learning, so it was very, very difficult to always be there. And also in terms of for the organizers, it was really like, I guess it was very underestimated from us, like how much actually would go into organizing all of this, being always online, to be expected to be online for 2.5 months, basically every second day or something, to check your messages, to check and also participate, motivate people, and be part of this. And so yeah, that was a big part. And of course, also want to mention technical difficulties are a real pain if you're trying to host an event and your internet cuts out. I mean, it just doesn't. It's really sad how frustrating it gets and how much it destroys the feeling, the vibe of an event. So what are we doing this year, right? What have we learned? What are we doing this year? We have 2 main events: the hackathon and the seminar series, which is going to be open for everyone. So instead of last year, where it was just the IOSC community, this year we open it up for everyone. We want to do a hackathon where people just engage for 36 hours, do projects. I guess you know how hackathon works. And and have like prizes as well. And then we're going to have a seminar series, which is going to be including talks by us, by the organization behind the IOSC, so also to show who we are, what are we doing, like outside of IOSC as well. But also there are gonna be IOSC related talks. If you're interested in that, please do sign up. Of course, we also want to keep the like community going, so we will have like a short reunion weekend, but nothing as big as last year. And we hope with these like more short-term, high-impact events, we'll have more people joining, more people engaging, and have more like with the IOSC, and then do some promotion for like astronomical outreach. So I'm running out of time, so I'll just say thank you for listening. If you're interested, do follow us on social media, or get in touch, drop me an email. I'll be very interested to see it. We're always looking for sponsoring as well. Yeah.